us try and get it together. Life will get better and we will rise again. One day, we will rise again. I can see it's coming, oh. We will rise again. We will rise, we will rise. We will rise again. I say, I know. We will rise again. Oh. Talk to me. You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Let nothing come between us. Together we will stand. No division between us. The foe can defeat us. If we work us, won't let differences beat us. If we learn to listen, I know that we can finally rise.
And definitely we can rise again. Find one done by LIB international artist Sam Ajivorn. Let me say good morning to you. It's good to be back here with you to the magic of radio on this bright Wednesday morning, the 11th day of August, and the year remains 2021. I'm the lady cool. Some folks around call me the coolest baby, and of course, I'm going to be here with you up until later. But let's now bring you 50-50 right here on this dial.
Good morning, Monrovia. Good morning, Habel. Good morning, Robertsfield. Good morning, Robertsport. Good morning, Toyota. Good morning, Salaland. Good morning, Macaque City. Good morning, Tottenberg. Good morning, Clay. Good morning, Port Waterside. Good morning, Riverside. Good morning, Bapulu. Good morning, Buchanan. Good morning, La. Good morning, Cowell. Good morning, Brewerville, Virginia, Camp David. My river edges is 50-50 on a Wednesday morning on Sky 107.1 FM with this topic. What is the position of the CDC-led government regarding incessant arbitrary evictions of Liberian people from their homes and destruction of their properties by so-called returnees Liberians who are using their connection in the code to acquire properties which they claim their forefathers bought 50 to 100 years ago? Who do I invite? Of course, the law himself, Councillor Cyrenius, Cephas, the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia. They are returnees from America who are claiming the land according to them their forefathers bought 50 to 100 years ago, evicting people from their homes, destroying their properties. I want clarification that what I've invited the law of Liberia, Councillor Cyrenius Cephas. By the 11 o'clock, our line should be open. You call us on those numbers on 0777 777 or you call me on 0777 221 223. And those same numbers are pinned on our Facebook page, Sky Communications Liberia. Of course, my name is Steve Mans. Of course, I'm the only grandson of my grandfather. And 50-50, you just can't be the experience. We'll be back right after the theme song.
Who's the Black Friday dick that's a sex machine to all the chips?
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone. And I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do. Making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean easy? And I only have to download the app?
Yes, so ma. And by the way, the after you talk, I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right for me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying Easy Life 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse Excuse me. Papa, give me one bottle of wine. Just another plate of barbecue chicken and...
Wait up, wait 1 minute. Oh, come back. My lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy. But sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh man, I am worried there. Jlateh, I got cash on my phone. You will scan and pay. But I want my money back so I get more.
No problem, dear. But explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes. With money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It, and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Well, what kind of message did people sending me again? Oh, who said my SIM not register? I was one of the first people then to buy my SIM when they came to Liberia.
Ah, I see. So that all I still only one actually get time. Now you must do it using your national ID card. After registration, there is a special number you can call.
Yeah. They really make it easier for us.
Yes, we are all required to register our SIM cards by using our national ID cards. But that's not all. Orange Liberia provides a very easy way out for you to self-check your status. Dial *5434# to check a SIM registration status, free of charge. We take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car with our sophisticated equipment. We give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on your car. But we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317, 0886 553317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. We're back on 50-50 on Sky 107. I got 2 newspapers, the Inquirer newspaper as well as the front page newspaper. Let me give you the banner headlines to the front and back pages of the newspaper. Sitting before me is the law. He was in the newspaper business. So when we talk about the front and back pages of the newspaper, you understand exactly what that was, what that is in our journalistic world. So I'm privileged to have the law. That's the law. But let me give you the banner headlines of this paper. Let's start with the Inquirer newspaper. Bapolo only public high school in ruins lacks teachers instructional material. The photo of the Minister of Education, Minister Soni. UN launches case management information system as judiciary open 8 new program offices. FG Grand Hospital receives assorted items. 9 under probe for mysterious. There, the photo of the IG Patrice Sudwe. The inside story, you have Doru citizens alarm over illegal agreement with LTTC. The back page of the Inquirer newspaper says that they established convincing evidence before trial. Judge Kiziku tells prosecution. Victims of chimpanzees attack appeal for help in Nimba County. Let's move on to the front page newspaper that say exonerated. Yeah, the Ministry of Justice investigation vindicates Lieutenant Williams from rape allegation over lack of evidence to probe the claims. Seeking clarity on 5% equity in oil sector, Senator Darius DeLong, Jonathan Segbe, Boycha Segbe, right plenary to invite stakeholders to provide explanation. Mambo hemogenic fever discovered in Guinea has Liberia heightens cross-border surveillance with neighboring countries. Warning against military sympathy. It says from Steve Zako in our quote, the former defense minister, Brani Samakad, is not just an ordinary person. He was a defense minister for 12 years. He got 12 good friends in the sub-region, especially military friends. The friends, may have military sympathy on him in the Mano River or ECOWAS basin. This is sympathy. Steve Zago, senator, one-man senator of Great Lofa County. Inmates reportedly dying slowly from hunger in Banga, prison, starvation in prison. It says in a quote, we have nothing to wash our toilet. All we use is ash to try and reduce the smell. I have not spent 2 weeks. I have not spent 2 weeks here without having one infection or the other. An email speaking from the cell. It's a Banga Central Prison. The back page of the front page newspaper said Lionel Messi signs 2 years of PSG deal after leaving Barcelona. Well, let me break this news today. The Messi in Barcelona is not going to be the same magical Messi that you will see at PSG, because Barcelona has the football history, the football religion, and football culture. He's going to be a totally different person because that religion is not in PSG. Don't agree with me? I had to let him go painfully, but he's not going to be the same anyway. So I'm not here for Messi anyway. He's going to make his millions while we're here looking for Becca Reds to buy. And so let me get to what I'm here for. I've invited, if you don't know him, he is the Lord of Liberia, to address this issue. What is the position of the CDC government regarding the incessant arbitrary evictions of people from their homes and destruction of their property by so-called returnees who are using their connection in the courts to acquire property, which they claim were bought by their forefathers 50 to 100 years ago. I've invited Councillor Cyrenius, Cephas, Solicitor General of the People's Republic of Liberia. Good morning, the law.
Thank you. Good morning. I appreciate the invitation. The way it was done on a short notice, but I think it's a worthwhile cause. To begin with, the issue that returning, we should be a bit circumspect in, labeling certain people as returning. Whether they are returning, they are still Liberians. Yeah. So the proper forum to address some of their concerns is certainly through the court. And if they revert to the court and the court gave them a judgment, no matter how irregular it might seem, the surest and most important thing to do is to challenge that through the same court system. Vis-a-vis the issue, the government of Liberia certainly has not been a party to any civil action between it and the citizens of Liberia. It's been a debate, it's been a civil action debate between rival citizens over properties. Now, in that kind of instant case, what needs to be done is that whoever is affected must now find the most qualified, competent, and experienced lawyer to be able to challenge some of the processes leading to some decision of that nature. So the government of Liberia has never and will not, and has never been a party.
So the government of Liberia will not intervene. Will not intervene in the case of some problem.
No, I'm talking about at the commencement level and the rendition of final judgment. We were never a party to that. It has been between the citizens themselves. When it reaches a level, for example, I give you a case study. There's a case about a property said to be owned by ABC Mission somewhere in the rehab area. And one morning they went to evict almost 5,000 citizens.
One morning.
One morning.
One morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was a really serious crisis and a chaotic situation. And some of the people pick up knives and murder pencils and other things as a challenge to the eviction order. And I was called there to see what I could do. And I said to them, no matter how irregular the judgment of the court may seem, the surest way to be able to challenge that is through the court. However, given the precarious nature that the exercise created, it certainly posed a national security concern, so that we then got involved. Now, part of the problem we have is that there's a case, as an outstanding case in the Supreme Court history. It's the Jesse Morva case. Jesse Morva used to work for the Ministry of Finance. He had a case somewhere on the FU, and this case, the Supreme Court ruled and said that if your grant or D is defective, the grantee certainly has no standing in that case. If you look at
say that again.
If your grantor, for example, if A and B, okay, you A and B is suing you, for example, for a piece of property said to have been sold to you by C as your grantor, and if the D of C is deemed to be defective, correspondingly, it is assumed that the corresponding effect grossly affects your D, because it means that he granted a deed without any authority. He didn't have the authority to grant the deed. I had a disagreement to a large extent on the basis of due process. And my disagreement then, as now, was that it is always, the court has always said in the Wallow versus Wallow case that our law is a law that hears before it condemns. So let's assume that grantor C, D is defective. What wrong with giving notice to
grantor C?
To grantee D, so that grantee D is fully aware that grantor CD is defective and form the basis, or that we initiate the basis for an engagement and discussion to be able to resolve the matter. But if the battle remains between A and B over C, and in the process C, D is declared defective or null and void, then D, who happen to be the grantee, become a victim. This is the opinion of the court. This is the outstanding opinion of the court. In the instant case you're talking about, the details are still coming up. Now, on the basis of Liberian returning and then decide to file a lawsuit, on the day the evictions was taking place, I received so many calls. Oh, we let you, then you try to take off from our property here and there, and this, and oh, that's how you do it, and the government, they brought police, and you know that the government is evicting us. So I called one of the lady who called me up. I said the government is not involved. But part of the problem people have is that you should not wait until when there's a time for the enforcement of the judgment before you pick up stakes to fight. Part of the thing you have is that you under obligation to obey the decision of the court. Make a representation to the court through a qualified, competent, and experienced lawyer to make your case, because it's the same court that issue the order. It will be the same court to correct it.
Let me get you to this point. Make your case to the court is the logical way to proceed in this legal manner. But I'll put in a category. You wake up in the morning, you as the Lord of Liberia, you go into Ministry of Justice to go to work, and behind you have guys. As everywhere in the rebel situation, we see all walking with a bunch of people behind him, breaking people's homes.
Let me give you.
What were you doing in that instant? You were never served.
Let me give you.
You were never called for an investigation, for a meeting. I would like to read this for you. Let me give you a case study what happened, brother.
Let me give you. Let me respond to that first. I think the case in point, the best example that suits is a case involving one T. Jlateh. One T. Jlateh called me and said, oh, my house is being surrounded for the sole purpose of being destroyed. And I said, he said, well, I will not allow it because I don't know why the police surrounded my house and they're breaking the gate. And They are breaking the gate. The kids are inside crying. I said, well, what you need to do, pass to the police station and get a police officer. When we get to the police station, call me. And when you get to the house, also call me. When they got to the house, he passed to the police station, followed the order, he got to the house, he certainly met the people surrounding the house. Only to find out that the house was a misidentity. In fact, the house did not fall within the perimeters of the land the person said were claiming. And then they have to apologize, but then they broke the lock. So in an instance of this nature, the court must provide a surveyor to be able to determine the metes and bounds of the property that is being, repossessed. In that kind of situation, if the scenario you gave, the Solicitor General goes to work, and then in the morning, and then in the afternoon, he's called that a house is being demolished by an order from the court, that is outrageous.
Outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous.
Let me read for you. And let me give you another scenario. You are the law, I'm not. So that I will drink from your fountain of experience of the law. You bought a land 20 years ago. It was sold to you by T-Max, or it was sold to you by somebody else. Yesterday, somebody showed up with a rate from the court. Not only that the rate did not contain your name as the law to be evicted, neither the guy who sold the land to you. And guys are banking, move. And this is the serious case that have the propensity to cause chaos. And I want to emphasize that. That's what I want the government to look into this. There is a case in court, the 6th Judicial Circuit Court, Civil Law Court for Masorado County, sitting in 8th June, AD 2021, before His Honor Shiplo Aradumba, assigned circuit judge presiding. The interstate of the late Weber M. Fasin and through his administrator Henry A. Morgan, Moses T. Kona, Edwin Famulet, and Kona Kiawo, and the same. Now, these are the funny things that's happening. You have in the name of Jesse D. Saliv, Cynthia Saliv, and Simeon Taylor. And all those under their control, Howard Taylor, Soma Passaway, Miata Joa, Senior, Benu Lamy, William Boima, Alfonso Yozo, Maurice Camara, Edwin Dabber, blah, 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 blah. Now the land in question runs, according to them, the information they gave, run from VOA all the way to Bible College in an average of what they call 10 acres. It's quite strange in our land. Now, the people that have become the victims are people who bought their lands from Flower. That area is called Yellow Flower. You know, the Congo boys, wherever they live, whatever names they have, that place carry the name. And the document the people showed to evict the people did not carry Flower's name. Yeah. How will you evict?
Part of the argument, and let me just the misnomer is never a defense, especially so. But in this case, they're saying all of those acting under their control, and they went on to name those people. So eventually, not an issue of misnomer. They are said and others to be identified. But equally so, when it comes to real property issue, you can't use at all as a basis, because you could just say at all and extend the process, beyond limit. But the surest way and the best alternative to challenge the decision of the court is to bring it to the attention of the court. The same party, I said, find a qualified, competent, and experienced lawyer to challenge, and they cannot challenge either be by a bill of information or motion to relief from judgment, and tell the court, we are not party to this. In fact, the land in question is separate and distinct. It does not fall within the perimeters of the land that is being repossessed. The court will look at, it's a court of records, and it can only move. And that's some of the problem some of us seem to have, because some of the problem we have is that before a court acts, it must be based on an application by out of the party.
But the point about your court system in Liberia, let me put it to you. I know you are the Lord, and so you might get offended, but I gotta put it to you strictly as it is. Our court system, as described by our international partners, is just bar off. It refers to the song that we used to sing when we were in Sunday school. A religion the Sunday that money could buy, the rich will go and the poor will die. Our court system is easily manipulated by the powerful and the rich. So what becomes the interest of the poor?
Recently the court, we had an opening of court on Monday, and the keynote speaker at the court is a friend. We are in law school together, and she said the court is the last place for man on earth. But and she said, I said, well, many a time and too often we heard that. But the fact that it makes sense to me is because you've seen it and because we're in school together. And I went on to say, when I was responding, I wanted to say, look, if the court is the last place on earth for mankind, then the court cannot threaten people. Can threaten.
The court cannot threaten people.
Yeah, because if you are the last place for mankind on earth, if you start to threaten people, then it raises a fundamental question about your own integrity. That comment was taken out of context. The point I'm trying to make is that some of the people who are accusing the courts of being very, very bad or not being up to the standard, I have practiced in their country. Let me give you a case study of the case of Jlateh, for instance. Liberian lawyers don't travel, so they don't see the scene. In Italy, in the jury, there must be a lawyer sitting, a judge. They have a panel of a trial. Then a judge will sit in the jury. When the jury goes in the deliberation room, the judge goes there. If it happens in our case, that corruption. It means that one of the judges who will be sitting on the case, time for the jury deliberation in the courtroom, he goes in the courtroom. He goes in the jury room and sit and deliberate with the jury. So eventually you can see that the jury decision will be duly influenced. Another area against the prosecution, and the judge sits on the same panel, or they sit on the panel.
You're saying in a way. I'm reading you. I'm reading your emotion. The law that the Liberian court system is not corrupt, which is not true. It is deeply corrupt, and you know that for a fact.
Well, most of the allegations, and I always said, whatever happens to us, it's us. And I'll give you the example how Liberian court system, people have perceived Liberian court system. Part of the problem we have is that sometimes it's a law, it's a duration of the cases in the court, and the inadequate manpower capacity to handle some of the case law. For example, the case, I don't know how long it's been in the court, but in other instances, it's like on a
people were never invited.
Yeah,
the people that
I agree.
Were never invited.
I agree.
They got out one morning and you see people walking around.
I was trying to say they should find a qualified lawyer to challenge that. The court will rescind. The court will rescind that decision. You find a lawyer to challenge that. The issue of misnomer is no longer an issue here because you went on to name all those acting under their control.
Precisely.
Yeah. So the land. Then I tell you, I mean, you're talking about Monrovia. We're not talking about Monrovia of the 1970s. You're talking about Monrovia of the 2000s. And you understand? For a land that been seated in the place for so many years. Like in the case of Patricia Famula, she and her husband.
Patricia Famula for honors. I'm happy that you got the information on Patricia Famula.
Yeah.
She gave a house to people that they're doing some business, the water business.
Yeah.
And everything was thrown out.
They went and bust all the water.
The others.
So even assuming you want to take over the house, you go and bust the water here and there. She and her husband bought the property 36 years ago. They've been living.
So what about the people that came to the land? Where were they?
So there where the issue of adverse possession applies. But it has to be a qualified, competent, and experienced lawyer who understands the nuances and the intricacies of the court and the inner workings and the judges and know the procedure. That's how you proceed.
And that victim must have money to do that.
Well, most
that victim must have money to do that.
Part of the thing we don't have.
My fear for you, because you're the lord of the country, and for your government, the Georgia government of the CDC. These things, this arbitrary action of people claiming to have land 50, 100 years ago has the propensity to cause chaos.
I do agree.
I am not saying, because what I saw Saturday and what happened yesterday to our neighborhood and that of Patricia family has the propensity for people to go amok, and the government will be too late to intervene. That is the propensity he has.
Yes, part of the deal, and it is a problem with Liberian. I have talked about now many of the codes and the 1956 code, the 1972 code will be repealed to reflect current day reality. The laws in some instances is obsolete. and it's absolutely outdated. For example, the issue I was talking about, the Jesse Mobile case, I give you the scenario of A, B, C, D. The grantor is C, the grantee is D. The context is between A and B. And once the court rule that C, D is defective, the trickle-down effect grossly affects D, who has never been a subject. So where does that leave the question of due process? You understand? Which is the law that hears before it condemns. I think because if I'm told or if I accept a notice, I realize that my grantor D is defective, it paves the way for me to engage in some constructive engagement or find a resolution to the problem. And you understand? Not I will be asked all the thing that they say, well, you start from the top. When the top crumbles, nothing below will stand. I had a serious problem with that. But part of the thing we have in this country is that, and I want to say this, no matter how well educated, knowledgeable you are in the law, when the Supreme Court rule on a matter, it's the law. It is only in this country when people write a critique of our court's opinion, people take offense. In other countries, people write an excellent critique, but no matter how well it is written, the law is the law. The Supreme Court opinion is the law. But in the place when you do this, and you want to argue, no plenty, and so most time we stay and wait. We see somebody, because in critiquing your work, you will know that in subsequent time, if you're handling a matter, you will know exactly. Like in this case, the Jesse Mobile case, what I give you the scenario. If you say, okay, in the case, next time let involve at least even the people will not be part, but let's serve them. Let's serve all the people who are believed to have purchased land from these people.
From these people to a meeting.
Yeah, to a meeting. So they themselves know that the person from whom they bought the land, the person actually is not the actual owner.
That was not done in this in this case.
This will pave the way for them to. The other aspect of this that is wrong with this is that the people being on the land, some of them have been there for 30 years, some of them 36 years.
Patricia's land has been there for 36
years. So where was this man? But again, you don't wait until when the train has left the station. You have to start to engage, even if they went and demolished the house. I gave you an example of a land in Congota involving a lady and Madam Grace Manor. The woman's house was demolished. They did everything. I mean, for a year they were attempting to frustrate. She remained steadfast. For a year she fought. Finally, she got her land back. So the next thing now is to move against that illegal demolition that took place. We have to start to do that. We have to start to engage our court.
What is your government position on this arbitrary eviction of people? What should be the scenario? What should be the processes leading to what might be an eviction or whatever that is? What should be the process? Should it be instantaneous, an eye for an eye, or tooth for a tooth scenario?
For example, and since I became Solicitor General, this is first time in history where we have not. And this is the only Solicitor General where the government of Liberia has not sued. For example, I was in 2014, let me give you an example. I sued my own government and it was taken as treason against the state. How can somebody sue the government and become treason against the state? And the definition of treason is defined under Article 76, you know it. So if you have bad people, wicked people who don't understand and believe that they can manipulate the system, do it. In this case, it's a private matter. But given the precarious situation he has created and the concern, the national security concern, I think into a large extent, we'll try to move in to understand the intricacies and how we can find a solution. But our engagement, our involvement should not be seen as meddling into a civil matter between private parties. The only concern that we are raising is because some people pick out stakes here and there, some of them are now on the list, and then they stand up to the court. Now, we think Liberians should not stand up to the court. The only thing they can stand up to the court through the process, the court process. Even if we were getting involved, I will have to go to court. The person who is claiming this property, maybe we want to know what is his deed, because the owner of land in this land is the Republic of Liberia. So we have to see some of these things. But it may not be okay. Since the Solicitor General said they should call for a loud into the process. I mean, somebody stay the process at least. Let's see how we can find a way to resolve the matter. Then you said, but you don't look for a lawyer. You sit down, you say, okay, I'm not supposed to be doing anybody's job. My office is regulated under Article 56 of the 1986 Constitution. So I'm not, but given the nature of the matter and the cause and the concern they created with the citizen rising up to the court, we have to come in. We actually have to come in. When I leave from here, I'm going to the court. I'm going to engage a judge.
The president, before I take that break, you want me to take that break, but let me learn. I will take that break. I'll talk to the president of the Liberian National Bar Association. He's a personal friend of mine. I was asking him this land procedure. That was about 5 years ago. I said, how does it go? He said, assuming that you illegally bought a piece of property and you start to build a house. And I, Tier 1 Gonglo, I am the rightful owner. I live in Monrovia. I have people in Monrovia. When you start to do what they call the profile of what the building should be, I will go with a witness and say, Councillor Cephas,
please stop.
They play where you come to bed, the man Leo. Please stop. And you leave him. He said after 2 or 3 more, you come back. That time the house would have been elevated to window level. He said, my man, I told you the other day, they play where you been here for me. Oh, yeah, man, dear. Please stop. You leave him. The third time you come, the house is reached roof level and putting zinc there. He said, after that, those 3 interventions, if it doesn't stop, he's in the know that somebody told him from the beginning of the construction that the place is in question. He did not listen, then he has to cry his own cry.
Yeah, but in some instances, it's dangerous to even do that. Let me tell you part of the thing, because I practiced for many years as a private lawyer, and I know it happened in a situation when I left from law school in 2006. I was in a case, and the senior lawyer asked me. I was a novice. I didn't know the procedure. I simply raised the issue. They were building the house on the land, so I went make a representation, and this lawyer was from River G, but I was his adversary. So I went to the man. He said, "Oh, you know what you need to do?" I said, "No." He said, "Just give me the copy of your deed. Me look at something, and I will resolve." You know what the guy did?
He took the deed.
Oh,
he took the deed.
He backdated that deed, and to make my deed.
That is precisely what is happening in our case, in the case in Broadville. The city mayor is asking for the deed of the flower. Why does he has to put it in there?
It has to be in court. So what they did was that they backdated the deed. And then we went to court, but in the process,
that's a criminal offense, man.
Yeah, no, but I was green, man. I didn't know the process. So in the process, I went to my wife. I sat down with my wife. She said, "Let's leave it." I said, "No, I'm going to follow the case. This is wrong," but I was still young. So we went into the matter. The first thing they called it, disposition of law issue. In the process, he took sick and died. When he died, then the woman who took our land was also from River G. Then. From one thing to another, yeah, the woman was crying, and she was crying in Grebo. She said, "I don't have anybody."
Speak that in Grebo.
It's a new con me, mama. So I heard it when the woman said, "It's a new con me, mama. I have anybody to help me."
Yeah.
Then I went to my wife. She said, "Let's leave it." So we left it. And and the person decided to possess the land because she cried in Grebo, and I heard it. She said, "I have nobody to help me," and I was just coming out of law school, and this guy was already in a heyday in the practice of law, so he knew all the trick. Now, if you go on the land and show the person the D, say, "Yeah, my D," he said, "Let me look at your D." When the next time you
let me look at the D, let me look at the volume of the D.
The next time you come back, and it's a normal Liberian practice.
It's a normal Liberian legal trick.
Yeah, so sometimes you go buy land from somebody who tell you, say, "Be quick, you must ask yourself a question."
Why are you asking me to be quick when I bought the land from you?
Be quick, you must ask yourself a question. We agree there has to be some checks and balances in place to be able to track down some of the abuses that are taking place. Many a time and too often our people suffer. But the court is a neutral referee sitting there. And if they present the quantum of evidence. I don't
understand when you say the court is easily and always in most cases be manipulated by powerful and the rich.
You know, when they say they arrest somebody that from the courts are not the building that they are judges, they are individuals. Okay. They live in a society. They actually live in a society. But if even the court err in the process of ruling, you still have a remedy at law. That's what the Supreme Court is there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Law, for this invaluable, priceless information that you're giving us. I know people that have been victims of this, this grievous practice find some relief. Let's take our second break, and when we come back, you can put your numbers to Mr. Law Cyrenius, Cephas, the Solicitor General Liberia, regarding the situation we're discussing.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone, and I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Man, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do, making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean it easy and I only have to download the app?
Yes, so man. And by the way, the after you talk, I am paying using the same app, my transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse me, Papa, give me one bottle of wine. That's another plate of barbecue chicken and...
Wait up to wait 1 minute. Oh, come back. My lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy. But sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh man, I am worried there. Jlateh, I got cash on my phone to scan and pay. But I want my money back as soon as you get more.
No problem there. But explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes. With money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It, and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Well, what kind of message did people sending me again? Oh, who said my SIM not register? I was one of the first people then to buy my SIM when they came to Liberia.
I see. So that all I still holding on that challenging time. Now you must do it using your national ID card. After registration, there is a special number you can call.
Yeah. They really make it easier for us, oh.
Yes, we are all required to register our SIM cards by using our national ID cards. But that's not all. Orange Liberia provides a very easy way out for you to self-check your status. Dial *5434# to check a SIM registration status, free of charge. We take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car. With our sophisticated equipment, we give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on your car, but we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317, 0886 553317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. We're back on 50/50 on Sky 107. All 0777 107. You'll be live on 50/50 on Sky 107 We are addressing the Solicitor General is regarding. Let's go to the line. Talk to our first caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kimia.
Dapat Timak and Councillor Cephas.
He is the law. Councillor Cephas is the law.
These kind of cases on land issues, I think we need brighter understanding of our legal approaches, because people have gone to sell land to 5 or 6 persons. I think Councillor under the Madam Ellen-led administration have brought a new law that people who have sold land to 2 or 3 persons should be called culpable to these kind of cases, because you bring somebody into a web, spend their whole resources, and ask the Supreme Court. And again, I think I'm advising council in there. I think we need a media hour so that our population can be educated legally for these kind of cases, because there are many people who are disadvantaged of this kind of proceeding right now. What will happen to them is that their health status is a matter of concern, because we are fighting the COVID. So that's my interjection. We need the media out so that our Liberians can learn something about the legal proceedings when it comes to the legal matters. So that's my advocacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kimia. Call me on that number on 0777-77107. You'll be live on 5050 on Sky 107.1 FM. Our special studio guest is Councillor Cyrenius, Cephas, Solicitor General of the People's Republic of Liberia, and he's addressing what is the position of the government regarding arbitrary eviction of citizens from homes paid for hard-earned income. Let's go back to line 5. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jlateh.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where you calling from? Is that Samai?
No, this is Roosevelt Faso Banks, and I'm filming from Bravo.
Go ahead, Russell.
Yeah, Mr. Jlateh, thank you for flagging out this issue, because we are one of the victims of such that happened on Saturday. We were in court at the civil law court in Monrovia, and all of a sudden we saw a eviction notice where, if you look on the rate, you will see Mahawa.
Yeah, Mahawa is here.
Yeah, Mahawa is not the owner of this place, but she's there manning the place for my auntie, who inherited it from her father, the late Jerry C. Brown. So when we received the communication, it was just like, because we in court with this Pacey family, and my auntie received that place since the 50s from her father, and had a house, a little place built there, and Mahawa was the one manning the place. Because we were in court, they just came there on Saturday, and she was the number 1 person that they evicted from there. So we want to know, because the case is before the civil law court, we want to know from the Solicitor General, what was the cause of the court issuing such that?
Thank you very much. You want to address that before we take the next caller?
There's a rate of possession. And we clearly presupposes that there has been a judgment in this matter.
He said that they are stayed in the court.
Well, I don't know, but when the court issue a writ of possession, it means the matter has been concluded.
But this matter was not concluded according to what you said. They stayed in the court.
For me, I'm an officer of the court. If I see a princess from the court, no matter how irregular it might seem, with that kind of designation, especially captioned writ of possession, it clearly states it means that there has been a finality of the matter. So again, I said, I'm going to go to the court to find out. So if they are still in court, that will be, his lawyer will bring it to the attention of the judge that we are still in court with these people. How possible it is that you've been able to issue a writ of possession? Because when you issue a writ of possession, it means the matter has been concluded. Yeah.
Call us on that number on 0777-77107. You'll be live from 5050 on Sky 107. Let's go back to line 5. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Timas.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name, please?
Yeah, thank you, Timas. I'm Michael E. Flomo Senior, phoning from Water Street.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Timas, let me say good morning to the Solicitor General. Timas, this issue of... I can remember it was 20 about in New Georgia. One man just came and said he got 100, how many acres? He said, that's telling us attention. You understand? We should go to the... I know what you're saying. It got me so annoyed to the extent that I said, but I think, yeah, they gotta be careful before it be a bloodbath, a bloodbath, yeah. Because you just stay somewhere 20, 30, 40 years, you bring your children, you know that your place, all of a sudden, woman, you can't soon money to my place there. You got to move 100, some more, 5,000 acres, 1 man. What is that? I think government really need to look at this before it becomes chaotic somewhere, and then it be bad for the image of the country. Thank you, Timas.
Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 077777107. You'll be live from 5050 on Sky 107. Our special studio guest is the law of Liberia, Councillor Cyrenius, Cephas, Solicitor General, Republic.
And let me provide you, there's a law called the criminal conveyance law. And the law says that, for example, if you criminally convey a property that does not belong to you and you bring it to our attention, that person will be arrested, taken to the police, charged, and the person will be brought to court. The law on the acquisition of property is that when you already make a sale, you part title, you cannot repossess title. So if you have compelling evidence to demonstrate that they are individual in the process of selling and reselling, give out the name. We'll go after them.
Okay. Call me on that number on 077777107. Let's go back to the line. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Tima. And good morning, Council.
Good morning.
Tima, did you inform Council about the talk show today and then the land issue before he came?
Did I?
For him to say that he will have to go and do research whether the case was finalized, it baffles me.
No, wait a minute. Let me correct that. The guy just told him that the only way the council was saying that the only way you can receive this sort of letter of possession means that the case must have been adjudicated and finalized before the letter is issued.
Yeah. So and then once the court issued the documents, and that kind of document says that the case has been finalized.
Yes.
Okay. So my thing is, the council should be able to tell us straight from his research, since he was invited on the show, that look, this case, Mr. Banks, because it's Roosevelt Banks who caused, the case has been finalized, not because of the document, but also my research says the case has been finalized. But it's good to say, council, that I appreciate the fact that you're on air, to speak on the issue, to clear the doubt, those who don't know the law, to understand what is going on. And Tima, it's great to hear you again on the radio. I grew up in Breville. I went to school in Breville. And that's so long for me to hear that someone claiming the place that belongs to Mamu Garage. I don't think it is right. Because 30 years, the government should act swift so that we will not have coming forward in the future.
And another thing is, how possible can it be that somebody will buy 10 acres of land from how do you call it?
Flower, yeah.
No, not from Flower, yeah, coming from VOA all the way to Bible College. I just don't understand.
Yes, I've been seeing some of this.
Let's go back to the line. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, Timas. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Mohammed MC. I call from. Timas, and hello to the Solicitor General.
Thank you.
My concern is that, Ratimas, this land issue, as you are saying, it will cause problem in this country if the government didn't pay serious attention to it. In such, if I bought a place maybe like 20 years ago, I built my house and I live in there with my family, and somebody come from the blue side and said he owns this place, and at the end of the day, I bought my children there. We've been there for 20 years. And maybe at that time I have money to build this place. But now, if you invade me from this place, I don't have money again to build for me and my family to live there. So what might be the cause? It creates a serious problem at Timax. I think these people are supposed to really think. Because one, you invading people from place that they have been there for more than 20 to 30 years. Where were you in 30 years ago? You didn't come and develop your place. Why the place is developed, everybody living there now in peaceful manner, then you come and this place, you're trying to move the people. You know, the law has to really see this thing seriously, because it's happening to me right now as I'm speaking to you in Kawe. I bought my place since 2014, sorry. Then somebody came from another side. He said he's owned the land. At the end of the day, we tried to follow the case. We went to the land commission. It was fake. It was just somebody that wanted to just connive and do such and claim the place. Which, of course, the guy who sold the place to us, he passed away already. Okay, so they want to claim the place and start reselling to people. You know, this thing is causing serious problem. Government have to pay attention to it.
Thank you very much.
I can buy my place.
Thank you very much. This case is synonymous to the case we have in Nima. You know, the Nima land issue is critical. It has become political. It has become religious and tribal. So this land business.
If I wanted, we won the other aspect of it in that the ECOWAS school the other day. There's no one remedy. The Ganta support group, youth group, you know, sue or the ECOWAS school. Part of the difficulty they could have and which raised with the code was that when there's a land dispute between private citizens in the republic, the sovereign republic, which actually represent, does not get involved. So let's assume that you rule, Mr. Court, and say, put in possession. Who are we going to put in possession? Because the government doesn't get involved in a private land dispute between citizens. So it will be difficult for us to repossess them. So what we urge them to do is sue. We will form part of the team, we will be a witness, because there are compelling evidence that is available to you. If you sue, we'll come to court. We'll be subpoenaed and come to court and explain that this land belongs to you. They said, no, we can't sue. If we sue in Liberia, we will now win. They sue in ECOWAS court, they could rule against them. I am seeing this to say, no matter how, look, many a time and too often between 2010 and 2017, I have sued the government on so many occasions, in so many cases. Even in some of the cases, the colleague on the opposite side, because of their close connection, would tell me the other case are cartoon. But in the end of the ruling on that matter, the court make a judgment, part of it that we now benefiting from today. For example, I challenged the court decision in an armed robbery case involving one Mata Salif. Mata Salif was part of a Susu club, and when they withdrew 410,000. In the end, while they were counting the money, armed robber came and took the money. Their friend claims that because one of the armed robber was her nephew, she called the armed robber on the people. So they arrested her, divided the money, and turned her over to the police. They charged her in there. One hot Sunday, and one hot day on a Thursday, the son was hot. The judge just sunk on away and ruled and brought a verdict of guilty against Mata Sali, and Mata Sali was crying, and the lawyer who was in the case announced an appeal to the Supreme Court. The family came and contacted me. I saw the woman crying. The woman name is Salif. I was a bit hesitant to get involved.
Because of Salif?
Yeah, because I was so hesitant. I said, I'm not going to get involved. This woman is a Salif.
Wow.
Because after a while, I said,
are the Salif untouchable?
Yeah, so I said, but how can, if this woman is truly a Salif, then how can a Salif as president and then the woman be subjected to this? So let me go through and see when I read the thing. Part of my challenges to the judge ruling was that the ruling was vague and indistinct, and that was one of the most, it lacked coherence. There was no clear understanding, and I went to the Supreme Court. In addition to the conviction, I challenged the conviction. Today, that Mata Saliki is a controlling law. The Supreme Court has indicated in all of the judicial canon that before a judge writes an opinion, the opinion must be concise, precise, and must cite law. That Mata Saliki is now controlling. I'm seeing this to say, don't sit on the fence when the court takes a decision and you resort to violence. Challenge the decision of the court, but do it through a qualified and competent lawyer. The issue of the LMBA you're talking about, in other areas, for example, I'm a member of the European Bar, vice president. In the European Bar, they have a committee that wants for pro bono services. In a matter of the days, they take an issue on behalf of what? Of communities. In our area, we don't have. The reason why we don't have, every lawyer is struggling to make ends meet. So now when you go for pro bono services, I can recall one time, Councillor Gonglo to us talking on a story of funny. He said, they sent me to do pro bono services On the other side, when I turned out to in court to do promotion, the president of the bar then was the late Cllr. Cllr. will tell on the other side for the prosecution. But you send me there, you know, it's so difficult.
So difficult. But I'm giving the thing for you to have a glimpse of what
I agree.
What is happening in Nimba.
Yeah.
It's a potential problem. It could happen anywhere if care is not taken. Let's take our last break, and when we come back, we'll go straight to Studio 8 to Princess to give us comment from our social media users.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone, and I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do, making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean it easy and I only have to download the app?
Yes, so ma. And by the way, the after you talk, I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse me, Papa, give me one bottle of wine, just another plate of barbecue chicken, and...
Wait up the wait 1 minute. Go come back. My lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy, but sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh man, I am worried there. Jlateh, I got cash on my phone to scan and pay, but I want my money back soon as you get more.
No problem there, but explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes, with money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Well, what kind of message did people sending me again? Oh, who said my SIM not register? I was one of the first people then to buy my SIM from them when they came to Liberia.
I see. So that all I still only one actually get time. Now you must do it using your national ID card. After registration, there is a special number you can call.
Yeah. They really make it easier for us.
Yes, we are all required to register our SIM cards by using our national ID cards. But that's not all. Orange Liberia provides a very easy way out for you to self-check your status. Dial *5434# to check a SIM registration status, free of charge. We take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years of business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car. With our sophisticated equipment, we provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage car, but we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317, 0886 553317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. You're back on 50-50 on Sky 107. Let's go to our last caller. I have to put him on because it's an international number to hear this concern. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jlateh. How are you?
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Oh, this is Jlateh Durban. I'm calling from Texas.
Go ahead, Kezo.
Yes, Mike, you credit today from the initial stage. This land and eviction issue is not handled carefully in Liberia for legal chaos. And I heard the SG comparing Liberia to other countries on a legal environment. But you know, we as Liberians, we are always making negative comparisons. Because something is happening in another country and it is not right, we always try to compare it with ours instead of looking for the right frame. Make a right comparison instead of negative comparison. If something is not right in another country, let us not compare to Liberia. Let's follow the right thing instead of looking for the negative one.
Mm-hmm.
For all the eviction issues, what becomes of people who have been evicted wrongfully? Whose houses have already been demolished? Who will build those properties? That's one. And two, Mr. SG, how effective is the pro bono legal system in Liberia? For those people who do not have money, who cannot even afford getting a lawyer, who's going to represent them in law? I keep hearing you say they can look for a good lawyer to represent them. People do not even have money to buy food to eat. So who's going to represent them in the legal process? As being a Liberian legal system, only the wealthy people can win.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
You want to address that?
Yeah, the comparison I was making is when I have a practice, when I became a member of the European Bar, I just thought our court system was so bad, so I didn't know. I didn't know that the judge and the prosecution can sit on the same panel with a defendant and a lawyer sitting down. I didn't know that one of the judges can go in a grand jury room, in a petty jury room, for the final deliberation of issue. And I said, this is wrong. I mean, the guy will have a vast influence over the decision. They said, that's what we do here. The point I was making is not that I was trying to that naked or something, but I'm saying if you have a court system operating at the end there, ours is better. That's what I was trying to say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's go straight to Studio A to Princess to give us comments from our social media users.
All right, I will begin with Paul King, who writes, another auditor at LRA saying more has been missing for a week and the government is playing deaf ear. Where are the so-called pressure groups, religious groups, and opposition leaders? Ruth Roberts Pemba writes, good morning, T-Max and the hardworking staffers of this show. I'm taken aback with the constant news of maternal death at the Minister of Health private clinic, Women of Hope Clinic. Every time there's a maternal-related deaths at this clinic, no investigation is conducted as to what led to those deaths and how can we prevent it from happening again. Maternal deaths audit is a way of teaching and learning from healthcare providers, quick interaction that could save lives. My niece died 2 days after she gave birth at this clinic. When we tried to raise the issue, we were looked at as bad people. Another pastor walked into the Women of Hope for an elective selection. She never made it out. Now I'm hearing about a young lady just died at that facility again. How can we hold other facilities and communities doing unprofessional practices deliveries accountable if our own health minister is not providing a safe home for pregnant women? If we must reduce maternal mortality, we must start the investigation from Dr. Jlateh Clinic. Let the Montserrat reproductive health supervisors muster the courage to investigate this death, please. Wellington Visoma writes, good morning, the Donald of Talk Show. I'm not saying this. Martin Wemmer Brand, good morning, T-Max. Although you discussing land issue, but it is disheartening that with all the mounting concerns at the NCA, the president is so hardened to take decisive decision to save the face of the entity by removing his beloved friend. Does his action simply mean he is in support of what Macaulay is actually doing at the entity, marginalizing the people that stood in the rain and the sun for him? There are numerous videotapes available of Macaulay ordering NTA drivers to take public monies at his house or transfer it to his mobile money account after commuting. What is actually going on with the purple that some Liberians died for? When last did the president visit the NTA to get a first-hand information on what the employees are complaining about? Sarah Putaway writes, this wickedness that our people are doing in the country is very wrong. Stealing people properties and selling it to others. This has been happening long before. Hilton Lajedo writes, good morning, T Max, and good morning to the Solicitor General for not forgetting Princess. I write from a proper corner in Logan Town as a proper defender. Thanks to the CDC-led government for upholding the rules of law. Nobody that goes against that law should go with impunity. I want my counselor to tell me the fate of Browning Samukar if he doesn't pay the EFL money and the time given him by the Supreme Court expire. Thank you so much for your elucidation towards land issue in Liberia. David Darkbone writes, good morning, Team S. This too is Liberia. Joseph Didi writes, corruption is the disease that's causing all these problems. Even the average man in Liberia is corrupt. They double sell lands to different customers. Ayoba Kosha writes, least place of trust is the judicial system in Liberia, no credibility at all. Ignatius Jigba writes, what is the role of the Liberia Land Authority? They should be addressing these issues and providing the procedures for redress. The courts are in the know of all these didiba that takes place between and amongst landowners and buyers. Alexin Ross writes, good morning to the 50-50 family. The topic is very true. People with money usually connive with the courts and powerful individuals in government to carry on these actions. I don't trust court judgment when it comes to deciding land cases. How can someone just come and claim more than hundreds of acres of land? The court cannot do anything any good background investigation. And this final one, Zopi Jala writes, there is a need for government to handle this land issue. I foresee that this land business will become the next war in Liberia. There are too many land issues in Liberia nowadays. I am a victim. And that's all for now, T-Max.
Thank you. Just return Princess to the airways. I said it already, I miss you. I didn't miss you, but thought about it. I think I miss you, man. I'm happy that you're back. Before we close, a friend of mine sent this text to you. Solicitor General, he said, SG, please discuss the issue of national records registry, where registered deeds are removed and replaced with fake deeds.
Yeah, I have said that. I said even in the practice, and that's why it's not good to show your deed to anyone until you get to court, because they go and backdate their deeds. We're having a problem. It's a normal Liberian problem. Let me tell you, one area I give credit to was a practicing lawyer. There's the registry in Kakata. The woman there is very tough. We had our deed and somebody wanted to do another deed to duplicate the deed. The woman said no. The first thing he did, he received the deed because he knew ours was there. He took note. When you go and register a deed, take your telephone number and call. And we call the person there. The person was ashamed. If you have a system, but the system is so weak that somebody can just give someone a small.
You need to strengthen the system.
Yeah, but we need the evidence, and not just by.
Thank you, SG, for accepting our invitation and give clarity, because a lot of people are victims of this.
I must say I'm deeply concerned.
I just talked to the lawmaker of the city of Broadway. He just talked to me. He had just been in a process of having the people that are involved in this to a meeting to see what the authentication will be. And I think that's a good approach to that. And that should have been before this eviction started. But again, it came from Morovia, and he's the city mayor of the city of Broadway. And I think we have to have that discussion and see what can be reached. But before you click this, I've been asking myself this question. Most of your colleagues, most of your international partners says, Cephas, the law is knowledgeable. The guy has the experience. The guy is eloquent. But that damn SG is arrogant. Do you accept that?
Article 15B of the 1986 Constitution gives every Liberian the authority to hold an opinion separate and distinct from the generally held opinion.
So you're arrogant.
No.
Should I hold that opinion?
That's an opinion.
That you arrogant, though you're knowledgeable?
Yeah, that's an opinion. I won't have any offense. I won't take any offense.
So who are you? Are you arrogant?
I think most times if you see me the way I proceed maybe aggressively.
You're bombastic.
Yeah, but most times if you approach me,
you're bombastic.
I'm very soft.
Reasonable. You can't be soft and reasonable. You're bombastic.
No, if you have the law on your side, for example, look at the situation you're talking about. Look at the situation that was involving Mr. Tima's Jlateh house, where they were banking on the gate, and only to find out they damaged the lock, and then they found out that it was not the property.
And let's pray to God.
Yeah, and what happened?
And we're not happy again because there could be consequences.
Yeah, and then in that kind of situation, if I'm going there, I'm going to go there with force. So
thank you very much.
Thank you,
my friend and brother. The arrogant, experienced, knowledgeable Solicitor General Republic of Liberia. He is otherwise known as the law. On that note, we come to the favor. My name is T-Max. Tomorrow morning, I'll be here again to discuss another issue, or to making sure that our country will host some functioning society. Bye-bye for now.
Who is the man that would risk his neck for his brother, man?